What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Late Night Lake Show podcast. Today, we got a playback episode conversation from the Lakers-Kings game last night. So we're just going to kind of jump right into it. So enjoy the episode and make sure you guys follow us on all social media platforms. Late Night Lake Show, let's get it started.
Jody, good to talk to you, bro. Good to hear from you.
What up, bro?
Not much, man. We got in the building. I know we got Ethan in the building. We got Phil in the building. About to get my boy Phil up on here in a second. Let me text Jabari, see if he gonna slide through tonight. And yeah, we could get into it. First, I wanted to kick things off, Jody. You started exactly where I wanted us to. Let's get into the Jody McFly LNLS almost bets of the evening. So, what were the picks, and then what happened?
I had a long parlay, but a lot of attainable shit. I had Vucevic for 6 rebounds. He got 14.
Damn.
Derek White for 10 points. He got 16. Jaylen Brown, 15. He got 19. Jason Tatum, 15. He got 31. That's the first part of my parlay. They all cleared what they needed. Next part, Trey Murphy. I just bet him to get 10. He's a parlay protector. You can trust him. He came with 28. Sengun, I just had 8 rebounds. He had 9. And then Jalen Green, I bet him to have 15 points. He had 34. Jalen Johnson of the Hawks. I put him down for 15. He has 19, bro. Victor Wembanyama. This is where it gets broken. I put Wemby for 8 rebounds, bro. Not 10, but 8. He has 6.
Is the game over?
It's a minute and 42 seconds left.
He's 7'4". He don't play under the basket, man. You know that.
Everybody else is cleared. Grady Dick, he cleared his. Kay Cunningham, Shea. And then, this one wasn't gonna work because John Morant, he only got 9. And then KD and Book in here for 20. They both are gonna clear that, so that's easy money. But you can't. These niggas, bro. How are you 7'4" and you have 6 rebounds, bro? What are we talking about?
He's a guard, dog. He's not a big man.
Folks think I'm old. Folks say, "Get off my lawn, Ricky. You an old man asking for your Giants to play in the post and get all the rebounds and get all the blocks and get all the dunks. It's too much to ask in 2024. I'm not supposed to assign labels to anybody. You're 7'4" and you play basketball. I'm not supposed to assume that you act like a big man.
Hey, bro, Steph Curry just finished the game with 2 points, boy.
0 for 7. He didn't make a field goal.
2 points.
That's 2 more points than us tonight, gentlemen. I feel good about that.
Nigga, I can make 2 free throws, bro.
Real talk.
I can't even say I did. I went 1 for 4 from the free throw line tonight just to get on the court.
You missed 4 free? No, you didn't.
I missed 3. So I had 2 times to get on the first court, clanked them both. Then 2 shots to get on your team and made it on the last one. And that's how I started my evening. It went up from there, from the shooting standpoint.
We did get to dogging them a little bit. We got to dogging them a little bit. Until our gas tanks got on E.
Jody, like you would have been proud of your boy for about the first hour and 10 minutes of the night. It was good. It was like I just walked back out on the court. The midi was nice. The face-up game. I looked like KG out there, man. I felt 1 cramp. My calf, bro. I turned into an ice skater. I was in the Olympics out there. Folks hit me with 1 dribble and then yanked it back. I was resting.
Yeah, I had to pull that video low key because
he ain't pulling shit. I'm pulling both. If you ain't pulled me dropping off, folks, you ain't pulling that.
Dog, I gotta see that. They hit you with 2 moves that were crazy.
Oh yeah, I gotta see that.
And the one we're doing as you spinning around was nuts,
bro. I'm okay with spinning around, bro, because I think I can close the ground. He went to fucking New Mexico after I spun around. I was like, "Oh, this is nasty." Jody, he had the free throw line extended, hit it with a drive. I was beat, so I tried to go. I saw he yanked it back, so I did a quick little turn, and I thought I recovered. Then he took an additional step, bro. It was not even close. I was afraid he missed. He didn't.
And he didn't, man.
It'd be like that. All good.
Damn. Hey, we didn't all been there, man. I didn't know.
Hey, if you play defense, you're gonna get got eventually.
Yeah, for sure.
Somebody gonna get you. Yeah, man.
Oh, I forgot DeMar DeRozan was
on the hey, DeMar DeRozan is good for 15 points on FanDuel. I'm just telling y'all.
Maybe as a two, they pretend he
will not let you down.
Evan, that's nasty though. Is that not nasty though?
That's what he was advertised as, 7'4" KD, and he said he's going to be KD. He don't want to play down low, man.
Bro, that's stupid, bro. You hindering yourself doing that, bro.
I think he just thinks he's gonna get hurt if you play down low. All that bumping and banging, he just wants to shoot
jumpers. You can get
bro.
hurt doing all that shooting in the perimeter. Your long ass, somebody come down, you come on.
Right. Steph ain't been the face of health his career. The fuck.
Yeah, like
LeBron been the only Iron Man besides his back. Once he got that straightened out,
man, you can't play sports like that. You can't play sports like I'm trying not to get hurt. Like,
oh my god,
gosh,
Max helping out his future team.
Man,
fellas in the chat, for those that missed it on a previous show, I've predicted that Max Christie's going to end up a Sacramento King. Just falling in line with his fellow, what I call him, Kwame, racially ambiguous blacks.
Yeah.
What you want back? What you want back from the Kings with Max Christie?
I want Fox. I want De'Aaron.
We're not getting Fox.
I know it, but hear me out. Mike Brown was talking crazy about his. I guess he's the second best player on the team now with Sabonis. But he was like, "Oh, De'Aaron got to step up." And I mean, I get it. You're a coach. You're allowed to say that shit. When we were playing, that is normal talk. Coach is calling you out, but you can't. I don't think you can do that now, especially with Mike Brown. You ain't Gandhi out there. You ain't Phil Jackson. So, you might not be around if the Kings fall off again this year.
I'll be honest. DeMar DeRozan is not what they needed. He's kind of a ball stopper. He killed their really fast-paced game.
I feel like they got him because it was musical chairs, and it was like, we need to get somebody.
Yeah, they got him on a good deal. They ain't had to give nothing up for him. Like, he just kind of just came over. But I don't think he was the player that they needed for their team. And I think it's showing because they're kind of trash. They're not a good basketball team right now. I mean, I guess we're not really either, but, we beat their ass right now. We're up smooth 22-14 on them. 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Austin Reeves just hit was that a three he just hit? Yeah.
3B.
So what are you guys, how are you feeling now? What are we like about a quarter and some change in? What are you thinking? What are you looking for as far as the trade is concerned? Or to really get this team to a place where we can reasonably even entertain the lie?
Yeah, I mean, right now we sitting at the 10th seed. We 2 games over 500. The Clippers, Warriors. There's some ass teams in front of us, to be honest with you. But they doing better than us,
bro. Like, let's just call it a buck. Like, the old men are at the bottom of the West right now. I mean, not like the bottom feeder bottom, but like,
I mean, they might as well
be,
man. Let's call it what it is. Right. I said they might as well be, man. These niggas is old. Steph just cranked in a 2-point game, bro.
As an adult.
Like, Brian barely got 10 points the other day. What was that, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, he was struggling. He was really pushing, but hey, he looked good since he took that little break.
He sure did. That quote unquote little rest and relaxation. Yeah. At the same, bro, I can't talk shit. LeBron got a foot thing. I get it. It don't go away. It just won't. As much as I try to hit my
LeBron
foot
gonna be
hammer,
like he's gonna be like Deion Sanders when he get old. He gonna have to get like a couple of feet and toes.
One of the greatest athletes in American sports history cannot keep toes on his foot because of feet injuries. It's that serious, dog, and that's what scares the shit out of me. Like, shit can get treacherous if you let it keep getting worse.
Right. And they figure, hey man, fuck it, I'll deal with it when I'm done. The problem is you're gonna be retired longer than you as a player. Now Deion Sanders still got another 30 years to walk around with down there 3 toes on one foot.
Walk around like a billy goat, bro. He's still prime, but like
you got 3 toes, bro. That's crazy.
One foot, you got 3 toes. They just took them right off.
Like walking around like a turtle.
You see that Kevin McHale? Yeah, Kevin McHale, that boy is He's just pieces glued together at this point.
Is he still with us?
Like, yeah, I think so.
Yes,
okay. I didn't know if like
I don't think he's that old.
Got him or anything like that. Oh no, he's running.
I mean,
I forgot.
Nah, he definitely in his 70s, bro. He definitely
he's 67,
up there.
67.
Oh, he's 67. Okay, cool. Yeah, he got to be up there, bro.
But he always looked like. I mean, his shoulders look like he got a coat hanger in his shirt.
He got the ring.
Like he always looked a little gay, like a little crazy.
That's funny as hell.
But yeah, I mean, in terms of a trade, bro, to be honest, we just need some dogs, man. I think we need a guard, a defensive guard. We can use a wing, we can use a big, we can use all three, to be honest with you. Our bench depth is nothing to celebrate about. Whatever it is, we need to do something. The roster as is, I don't see getting it done, man. We had too many defensive liabilities. AD has to clean up everything. We don't have a rotation of serviceable bigs. It's a little tough out here, man. Like I said, offensively, I think this team is fine, but defensively, it's bad, man. We not winning no championships playing no defense. So I think that needs to be addressed.
I'm not even acknowledge that asking for Pat Bev back.
No,
you like Chihuahuas. You probably got a Chihuahua over there in Indiana, bro. There's a lot of yapping, but no actual fruitfulness to it. No like spark. I mean, you all saw the rumors that Colin Sexton would be a target for the Lakers if they do something like Colin Sexton and Walker Kessler to LA. That kind of checks the box that with your big, checks the box with just your scrappy guy. I know how much Kwame loves small guards in the playoffs, but I think he does provide that, game to game energy that this team, while they're not the old geezer Lakers like they were, 2 and 3 years ago, they don't have a younger guy that loves defense. Yeah. Right? Like Max does, but like Max kind of be getting ate up too a lot, right? Like liking defense and trying really hard is half the battle, right? So you have to be a star what's out there. So I don't know, man. I would love somebody young and fiery to come in and add that off the bench spark from game to game. Diving on the floor and all that cool stuff. But we're gonna get tested. I don't see us getting a what the hell just happened? Oh, a back up. They couldn't get it over half court. Yeah. That is the sign of it.
Yeah. Was it
But yeah, I'd like to see Colin Sexton. I don't think it solves all the Lakers' problems. Walker Kessler, they're not them away from the championship. It'd be cool.
Hey, it'd be funny as hell if Colin Sexton traded to the Lakers. I remember Colin Sexton got drafted to the Cavs the year LeBron came to the Lakers, but when he got drafted, he was like, "Come on, man, we can go back to the finals." When Colin Sexton got drafted to the Cavs, and then like a couple of days later, LeBron was like, "All right, bet, see y'all later. I'm going to LA." And it's like 7 years later now.
Yep. I mean, I'll be honest. I think the trade, if there is a trade that happens, I don't think it's going to be one that's rumored, man. The Lakers have never made a trade since in this LeBron AD era that was rumored to happen, except for the AD trade. That was the only trade that was rumored that actually happened. Every other player we were linked to, we never got. Buddy Hield, Miles Turner, all them boys, we never got none of them. It's always.
I'd be okay with Valanciunas if we can get Valanciunas, which seems like it's a possibility. I know he didn't. Seemed like anytime we didn't play him a few times in the past, he didn't lit it up like everybody else does when they play the Lakers, but.
Yeah, because the Lakers have an Anthony Marshawn Davis Jr. that makes niggas like Jonas Valanciunas not look very good as a center. But I guess you got to take it from the bigger, because I'd be caught up in the moment too when folks talk about getting him and how much he could add to the roster support in the backcourt or in the front court, But I watch the games and 80 eats him alive, right? But then you kind of got to go, all right, not every team has an Anthony Davis. So I probably got to watch more film on him, but he's one of those names that's starting to creep into, we're hearing about him a little bit more than we probably should. Big Bill, what's happening, brother?
Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm on a cell phone, so the quality might be shit, but we're going to see.
Hey everybody, it's post-production Kwame here. Just dropping in a little tidbit. As you just heard Phil say, he's on a cell phone, so he may have some quality issues. He did. So you'll notice some points later in the podcast where it appears that Phil may have been talking, and that's kind of just cut out, and you'll seem like it may be skipping around. That is intentional. Do not be alarmed. We just cut out some of the audio issues that he was having. But otherwise, y'all continue to enjoy the podcast. Thank you.
Sounds good. You in the library?
It's all good, man.
No, this is my work room. I've got a lot of
That is an impressive bookshop.
Phil, where you stay at, bro?
Yeah.
New Haven, Connecticut.
Cause I thought you said you was from Dayton. I thought you was Did you say you used to stay in Dayton, or you know Dayton?
Yeah. I grew up in Dayton, in West Carrollton.
Oh, you went to West Carrollton High School?
Yeah, you said you was from Kettering, right?
Well, I was living in Kettering back then, but I went to Trotwood.
Oh, okay, yeah. Our asses kicked in football, right?
You know.
Ian's on pod on payroll. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, that's crazy, but that's cool, man. But yeah, man.
So let's get Phil's take, man. The Lakers are what away from this season and not just looking like we're on the death march to mediocrity again.
What it's always been. It's a big. Like, and here's the thing: from the time that he got here, but especially so since we've seen LeBron start to age a little bit, like this team is always best when Anthony Davis is the best player. That has to change. Like, he has to be that guy, and for him to be that guy, he needs to be able to not be guarding the primary big.
So they got you in space right now, man. That's copy.
Like,
cooking right now, but now I'm starting to get every fifth word.
Your video is really good though.
Yeah, the video.
Yeah, I was wondering if y'all could hear it like I was, because I was like, damn, it ain't coming through.
Started to sound like a broken connection. Oh, you good, Phil? Let's do it.
Yeah, but just like when Anthony Davis is guarding Jokic in crunch time, we're gonna get beat because we're not using Anthony Davis's defensive capacity at like maximum effect.
That's fact. Phil, I agree. They just they're doing you dirty right now.
Your mic's like super choppy. Your video quality
they
is literally
beautiful. They'll give Phil the first 10 seconds enough for you to be hooked. Then it just sounds like he is just floating it down. My bad, brother. Phil, we'll get you in for bite-sized commentary because it seems like the longer you talk, the more it's doing you dirty.
I'll keep it quippy. That'll be fine.
Yeah. All right. Lakers up 35-24, minute 15 in the first. You got evil Jonas Valanciunas at the free throw line. I forget old boy's name. What's his name?
Alex.
Yeah, Alex.
Evil Jonas Valanciunas.
He looked like a villain though. Dastardly.
No, he looked like one of these like Jokic cousin or some shit. Like just from whatever sector of Eastern Europe where they just make 7-footers for no reason.
Yeah, I'll be honest though, Phil's onto something though. I mean, you saw in the Olympics when AD got to play next to Bam, and obviously Bam's a great defender in his own right, but when AD gets to roam, man, it's different. He's a very, very different defender when he gets to roam. But when he's locked down in the paint, having to guard a very talented big, that's not playing to all of his strengths. I will absolutely
block the local.
Mm-hmm.
The pass.
Finish.
The layup. Never mind.
They used to throw that off the backboard to LeBron.
D'Lo got to get his buckets, man. Hey,
well,
need him to look good for the trades. Need him to look good for the trade market.
That's bad. Yeah. D'Angelo will be playing in what state in 3 months?
Hopefully New York.
New York? Like Brooklyn, New York?
Yeah. Or like
you can do a reunion.
Hey, Brooklyn was the best time of his life. He might as well go back.
Go back to Barclays.
Yeah, they was
that was his only all-star nod.
Yeah.
I told my barber D'Angelo Russell would be an all-star one day, and sure enough, he wasn't alternate that year. But I don't care. He made it. He was there. He played the game.
And they traded him for Kevin Durant, which well, KD was going anyway. They just
that's fair. Lakers traded him for Brook Lopez, and then watched Lopez
walk. Shout out Magic Johnson for selling that.
Yeah, no, shout out Magic. I really think that he's probably I think D'Angelo Russell is the most likely. Like it's
Has
kind
to.
of
This is
writing on the wall.
expiring.
It's almost like a have to, right?
This is expiring. He has to be traded.
Malpractice at the
But,
Lakers.
like emotionally, I feel bad too because I always believed in D'Lo and I was happy when he came back. But
Man.
it is what it is. Like
Yeah.
it has to go in that back.
Yeah. Unfortunately, hey, he was great the first year he was on the Lakers when we got him back. Made it to the Western Conference Finals. He had some really good games in the playoffs. Had some bad games in the playoffs too, especially against Denver. But in the first 2 rounds, he was phenomenal. So like, I get it, but unfortunately,
he'll always have those shots against Denver when we were down 6, I think, and he made them threes back to back. I mean, not Denver, Memphis. When he made those threes back to back.
There's a reason why that series happened in the first round.
Like he'll have that moment forever. Like that was a hell of a moment.
And I will also always remember the original "Ice in My Veins" in Brooklyn.
Yes,
like that made me feel something for the first time in several years with that team. Like that.
Where'd Jody go? Uh-oh. No, Bill, that is a great point. Also, Gabe at the buzzer. Nope. Also, D'Angelo Russell's impact on pop culture transcends any of his basketball career. And folks probably have well forgotten that he is the first one to do
ice in my veins,
the hand to the arm. And that was the ice in my vein celebration. Now everybody just does it. They don't even say ice in my vein. Now the kids are saying sheesh or some right? Like I don't know how we turned ice in my veins to sheesh, but like you see, as soon as he came back to the Lakers, they went right back to the same celebration. So yeah, I hope he gets credit. It's probably going to be on a Trivia Pursuit question in 2045 of what Laker first originated the ice in my vein celebration.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell my grandkids about that. They're gonna put me to bed.
That's right. What's that, Granddad? You need the good stuff IV again? No problem.
Yeah, but to be honest, I think him and I don't know how they're going to trade JHS, but I mean he's now expiring as well. So I think every expiring you have to trade. If you let them walk for nothing, that is bad.
They basically just gave up a first round pick with JHS.
Yes.
NBA won't want this. Y'all got his back.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? Ricky with Late Night Lake Show. Real quick, just wanted to send some flowers, send some love to one of our A1 Day Ones, friends of the show, Prize Picks. They've been rocking with us since this account and this whole operation was in its infancy, way before we have grown to the production that we are here today. And we can't thank them enough for believing in the engine that is LNLS. And to show our love, we got a new promo code for y'all. Type in the promo code CLNS for up to $100 deposit match on your first deposit. That's right. You already know how Prize Picks is coming, man. It is the #1 daily fantasy experience. You make your picks higher or lower. You make 2 to 3 selections. And if you hit, you might be able to cash out on a nice little 5, 10, 15, 25, all the way up to 100 times your deposit.
That kid is not having fun. What's going on?
It's loud, bro.
I get it. Give him maybe some headphones. The young kid, she chilling. It's always the younger sister that's straight, while the big brother be freaking the hell out.
Mm-hmm.
That's my life in my household these days. Deanna be bullying. My 2-year-old be bullying my 6-year-old, man. Jody, I don't know what your setup is for your half football team. But
these kids, bro, they got me ready to pull out my damn hair and just I'm about to hey. I understand it now.
I understand it now.
That's all I'm saying.
I didn't have a single gray hair.
No, dead ass. Yeah.
You got them on now, huh?
Yeah, my 5-year-old looked at me the other day when I was picking her up and was like, "Wow, Dad, your hair's like all gray now." And I was like, "Yeah, thanks."
Thank you.
All right, you're walking home. See you at the house.
I just be like, yeah. Yes, you should.
All right, started the second quarter. Lakers up 37-28. I thought this had a feature where we could get the stats up to the side. Did I just make that up?
Do that?
I thought they had live stats.
There's a bunch of buttons on the left side. I don't know what that means though.
Say it again.
Actually, yeah, I have no idea how to do that. That's
Anyways.
If there is a way to do it.
So did y'all see what Nick Wright said about the in-season tournament now?
No, what did he say?
He was just saying since LeBron won it in the first season and cared about it, and since Giannis won it this year and cared about it, it's gonna be one of those things that great players gotta have on their resumes now.
Yeah, it's gonna turn into that. We're gonna be talking in like 10, 15 years when you talking about players, NBA Cup championships and NBA Cup MVPs are gonna mean something. I think I would agree to that.
I think so too, because it's gonna be like, yeah, you know what, we gotta go ahead and go to Vegas and get this little trophy, because you don't really get to win too many trophies, honestly.
Right.
Yeah,
That's a fair point. Ethan says Jordan doesn't have an in-season tournament championship. True.
And the Lakers won the first one ever.
Yeah.
When you go through the history books, you scroll for the very first one, you go see Lakers. Right.
I mean, that's kind of legitimizing, honestly, if we're being honest about it.
If the Charlotte Hornets won the first in-season tournament, nobody would give a shit.
Yep. I mean, they acted like they didn't care when the Lakers won. They acted like they didn't care. Like I said, it'll mean something later.
Oh, shit, man.
Oh, while I got it fresh on my mind, and I got you here, Phil, wanted to get your thoughts on this whole ratings debate. Personally, for you, or how is the entertainment of this league landing for you? And then, do you actually think that it's a product problem that is needing to be addressed as soon as possible?
Well, I think it's product and marketing. Like, I've heard people say that inside the NBA is a problem, and it's hard not to argue that in terms of public image. Like, when you've got people that are household names that everybody respects shitting on the game on an basis.
Literally.
It's great entertainment. It's elite television. But in terms of how the league markets itself for the flagship program is not really a good look. But it is. I think it's also on court issues as well, because the game has become perimeter oriented, and it's been that way for a little while.
Yeah.
In the league, because they want to drive up points on the theory that points
more entertaining. Boy, were they wrong.
But yeah,
right.
they've discovered worldview now, and it's just time for
That's like, if it got to a point where the average football game was 50-50, I think it would damage the sport. Defense would have gone so far away that you just expected. I was thinking about this earlier, that I feel like basketball might be trending to a sport like, and hear me out with this, with in men's softball leagues, how there's a home run limit. Like, and you have to put a governor on these people because it's going to be easy to hit this softball 9,000 feet, right, after a couple of beers, and this is all I have to worry about doing. They're like, no, you only get X number of game home runs. After that, be a baseball player. I wonder if the NBA is kind of seeing that with three-point shooting. Like, obviously they figured out shoot more threes. Even if you make less of a percentage of threes, it's still better than shooting twos and making a slightly better percentage. What nobody really calculated was this shit's horrible to look at. Like we said earlier, I don't want my 7'4" giants acting like they're Steph Curry and Kevin Durant. And I'll put Kevin Durant in his own corner because I've said it before. He is a unicorn and I think has brainwashed all these big men, Bol, Mo Bambas, that they need to start outside in and actually have a career. But I don't know. Like, somebody said that they suggested that we should put a limit on 3-pointers a game. I don't hate it.
Oh, you can't put that toothpaste back in the tube, man.
It's either, I don't know what the solution. What's the solution? Get
There
rid of
is
the
none.
3-point line. I don't think backing it up makes any sense. Like, what do you do?
Get rid of the corner.
You
and
can't.
I don't know how much that actually makes a difference. Probably someone does, but I don't know.
Nah,
Let
you
people
can't.
defend is the solution.
Say it again.
What?
Let people defend.
That's a
Oh,
good point.
yeah.
That's the only thing. That's the only thing you can do, because that's the essence of basketball, is letting people play defense. So you might got to overcorrect a little bit and let guys play more defense, but you can't change the 3-point line. You can't put a limit, because what happens is
Call moving screens. I like that.
you're basically delegitimizing the numbers that guys get going forward, and then you delegitimizing the numbers that guys got in the past, because if you change the 3-point rule or the amount of threes, in theory you're changing the spirit of teams' philosophies. You know what I'm saying? And you can't really do that. But if you allow guys to actually play defense, the offenses are gonna adjust to, you know what I'm saying, what they're doing. But it's one of those things that, like, it's just gonna have to go in a cycle. And I think a lot of it is honestly overblown, because we don't live in a time where ratings are just like the same, because there's so many different things. People are on the go, like, and people can still tap into the games in different ways. People can watch clips, you know what I'm saying? People like, it ain't like people just sitting down at 8 o'clock watching Michael Jordan on WGN. Like, like, this is not that in 2024. Like, these guys all got their own brands. They all, like, these kids watch these guys get dressed before they go to the game, like, and behind their little TikTok shit. Like,
Everybody got a podcast.
Everybody has a
You're
podcast.
locked in. Yeah.
It's completely different. So people think, oh, he's not watching the game. Well, he may not watch the game, but this guy is tapped into the podcast after the game. This guy is tapped into Draymond's podcast after the game. But that view, that listen, doesn't count towards the TV view. You know what I'm saying? And the ratings that these TV shows get, how does that not count to the ratings for the sport when they're talking about the players?
Yeah.
Like, these things have to evolve as time goes on, and the world, you know what I'm saying? Like, the world that we live in changes, basically.
I can agree with that. I think there's a lot of truths here. I think there's truth, exactly what you said, Jody, that people can tap in many different ways. I think, Phil, there's truth that the 3-pointers are a bit much. I think there's also truth the NBA has a marketing issue. And really it's because I think, and I want to touch on the marketing part, because I actually really resonate with that part. I think the NBA struggles because, again, they market players over teams. The NFL doesn't have that same problem.
Yeah.
The NFL markets teams hard. Players are just whatever, but, people are fans of teams more than the players. The name on the front of the jersey means more than the back. The NBA is the opposite. And we see that with a lot of these younger stars, that nobody can quite grab that mantle. That's why still in 2024, the biggest draws in the sport are the old guys, the LeBron James, the Steph Currys, the Kevin Durant's. These new guys can't grab it because they're not as marketable. These Europeans don't care to be celebrities like that. So they don't want it. They're pushing that away. Jokic don't want to do it. Giannis don't want it. Who's the guy to step up and take that mantle and be the face of the league and want it? Ja was kind of on his path, and then he started toting guns. And, I don't know if he'll get that opportunity again. They really tried Zion, but he can't get on the court. And Edwards, we don't know about that.
Right.
The NBA is really struggling to find their super marketable player. Like, if you were to take out, like I said, the legends of the last 10, 15 years, who's left that you're looking at that's like, this is the face of the league? They don't have that. And they continually struggle. And when you look at the big games, the guys that are really bringing the draw, it's the guys who've been doing it for 10, 15 years, and they can't keep doing it. We watched Steph Curry put up a 2-point burger an hour ago. That's who's supposed to carry your ratings? Like, you need a new star, and they just don't have it.
And the thing is, it's different back then, because, like, LeBron come from an era where they can kind of put you, like, he has so many people behind him that they would push LeBron to the front. Like, so being on Sports Illustrated was such a big thing. But these days, the mystique of these players is gone because we have so much access to them. They'll say, oh, we love this guy. We love Zion. Look at all his IG reels and all his dunks and all of that. But then it goes away so quick because we move on so fast these days. Like, I don't know that they're going to ever have another face of the league that's going to carry it for 10 years, 15 years, because people, they love you and they hate you. They're going to find a reason to not, you know what I'm saying, to not want to have you in that position. Like I don't know who that player could be. I don't know who that guy can be that's going to keep people like LeBron will go to the finals every year, even if they lost. People will still want to see, is he going to be able to get through another 3 rounds and get there again?
Yeah.
I think.
So what's the solution?
Well, I think it speaks to your point earlier that like about marketing teams versus players, that like madness ratings haven't declined.
Yeah.
Because colleges are just as popular as they ever were, and the teams help market the players through their brands too, like one or the other.
Yeah.
And so I think that really speaks to both your guys' marketing points. Like the problem with marketing around market stars is what happens when there's a generation that doesn't want to do that. Like you don't have those heavy team-based brands to fall back on.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, I don't know how the NBA can make that hard turn immediately either. Like I think they have a lot of issues that have mounted over the years. Even like inside the NBA has a hand in all these talk shows have a hand in it, diminishing the new game and favoring the old game, the 3-point shooting, the lack of allowing people to play defense. There's so many components that have all kind of, gelled into one, and now they have this massive problem on their hands. And I don't know how they fix it at this point.
Can't put the toothpaste back in the tube, man.
You really can't. So NBA's got a very curious issue on its hands. I really wonder what this league is gonna look like in 5 years. I'd be very curious to see just what it looks like from a general standpoint when all the legends we grew up with are gone.
Like I really don't up to the stream. I really don't want to say that basketball could go the way of baseball in this country. But if baseball, which was America's pastime, went to 3rd on the list of top watched sports in this country, that'd be pretty arrogant of me to not think that basketball could fall off. So I think Ethan's point a little bit, right? I think the competition part, like the self, the little 2 points for me, like the self drive that you see in Giannis, right? Like I'm not just here to win, I'm here to dominate and kill. You don't see that as much across the league out of your best players.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of guys are here to hoop at a very high level, and at the end of the day, go home, shake up with their homies, maybe go out to eat at the club, but life is good. Life is good as an NBA player, right? You don't have to be as hungry if you are a top 30, 40 player in the league. They're 30 or 40% player in the league.
Spicy question for you guys. How much do you think that related to basketball becoming a game at the developmental level?
A lot of it, to be honest with you. I think a lot of it, because again, what was the last superstar that we've had that, or I guess when you look at like under 25 players, how many of them come from like rougher backgrounds, like non-privileged backgrounds? I feel like that component, like when you look at players from the 2000s and before, a lot of these guys came from, inner cities. They have a different drive, a different hunger to them. But now you got a bunch of suburban kids who've had trainers their whole life, who've been in a million AAU tournaments. I think that's really, to Phil's point, I think that's really taken out a lot of the passion of the game. A lot of these guys are just here to make money. They're just here to, hey, I can make some money here. I'm good enough, But it's not like if I don't play, I'm going back to being poor. And I think that's the thing Giannis has, because he talks about he was selling water bottles in the streets of Greece, and the way he plays reflects, I don't want to go back to that. I don't want to go back to that. So he goes out there and he plays and dominates every single game. Well, you have people that grew up in these luxurious houses, and they've always had a basketball in front of them. Like the worst case scenario, if they're not NBA players, I'm sure they're still very well off people. They're not going to the slums like people of the old age. So I gotta think that's part of it. I think I saw somewhere online that it said like the NBA has like 52% of current players are related to another professional athlete. That's nuts. 52%.
Like, what do you do with that, man?
They talk about it's a brotherhood.
Like that's
club. That circle is pretty
they
small.
talk about it's a brotherhood. That's a brotherhood for sure.
like it's already like it's already only 450 jobs. If half of these guys are children of other pro athletes, I mean that like what are we talking about?
You're losing the genetic lottery, and I think in the NBA genetics mean more than anything, mean more than in other sports. I would say,
right?
You can't teach tall.
Part of the reason that sports has meant is that like high school growing up who didn't have everything, like I had everything growing up, and they wanted to be the best and to be everyone that they came across because that's their definition of success. Like I end up being the guy that gets the headlines, or I might not be the richest person or like the person most acknowledged, but I'm going to be the best and know that myself and beat anybody that wants to come. All that in athletes when I was a kid and even like 10 or 15 years ago, and I just don't see that as much.
Not at all.
I see it now. With my son. Well, my son, my oldest one, and I can't. It's like it's funny because when you grow up having things, you can't conceptualize not having or that desperation feeling. Like you can't drum it up. Now that doesn't mean you don't have internal drive, but you can't fake desperation. That's not something you can fake. You can't emulate it. You can't like it's completely different from a kid walking into a game that his dad cooked him breakfast this morning. His mom made sure that everything was squared away. Everything was good versus this other kid who got a ride to the game with somebody else's parent because neither one of his parents or his single parent could get him to the game. And he did not eat. He only got something that the other people was getting, and they only got that because they was on the way. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that kid is like, oh, I'm about to go and bust his ass because he got everything that I don't have now.
Yep.
You can't drum up that type of edge. And that's what people want to see. That's what people like. That's what like draws people in. And I'm not saying that people wants to see people in poverty scrap for every claw. You know what I'm saying?
At the same time, like Ant has an edge to him, right? Like I think Anthony Edwards, the mentality was all throughout the league in the 2000s. Right? Like
playing on every team like
not only am I cold, I don't give a fuck about whoever on the other side either.
Right.
Right.
People connect with that because most people have to work like that. Like makes it compelling.
Like case in point, people loved Allen Iverson because of that fact, because of the things that Allen Iverson went through.
Yes.
Allen Iverson was a face of the NBA. He may have not been the number one, but Allen Iverson was beloved, and you had to see Allen. And he had something that Michael Jordan didn't. Michael Jordan had that inner drive, but Michael Jordan came from a 2-parent household, suburbs, but he became the greatest player to ever live. Allen Iverson was this guy that made everybody just love him because of what he went through, where he came from, and the way that he played the game.
Jody, I want to piggyback off that, man. And the flip side of it, too, is what I think also adds to the watchability of these games. Hate brings a lot of viewership as well. You know, Allen Iverson, as much as he was beloved, there was a part of America that hated him too.
Yes.
Right? What he looked like, what he represented, right?
What he made their kids want to be.
Yeah, man. But at the same time, this little motherfucker is getting off every game. You have no choice but to talk about it because he's always in the news, right? You look at, I mean, again, we're not here to want our players to have issues or to be hated, but to be honest, like everybody just seems like nice guys in the league, right? Like,
well, Allen Iverson wasn't sorry,
right?
Like he was Allen Iverson, and you didn't like him, and he was okay with that. And it like the people who hated him fed off that, but he didn't care, and that was another telling.
Yeah.
Kings take the lead for might be the first time in the game, 50-48.
I'll be honest, that's a good point. I mean, like, how many people are really hated in the league today? Like, like new up and coming players that like people. I feel like hate watching doesn't really. It's still the same people getting hate watched that have been hate watched for the last 10 years.
But you gotta care. You gotta care to be able to truly hate somebody.
We don't have rivalries like we used to. There's a lot of things just missing. What's a current rivalry in the league right now? It's just Trae Young and the Knicks. Is that the only rivalry that's out there?
Right.
The best rivalry in basketball right now is Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese.
Honestly,
right.
We saw what that did for the WNBA.
Correct.
That was their magic Larry Bird moment.
Literally. The current league needs something like that, man. We need players that really go at it every time they see each other. Something teams that just hate each other.
Derrick Rose is another one. Derrick Rose is another one.
Right.
You know what I mean? That because he's from your neck of the woods in Chicago. Like you know, you need that. And I can't think of anybody, but maybe Ja Morant. The kids are tapped in with Ja. I know that for a fact. They are. But I just don't know. I just don't know what to expect from him at this point. And you knew what you could expect from LeBron. You know what you can expect from Kobe. You know what you can expect from Jordan. They may or may not be going through whatever, but when the game is on, LeBron has never missed a playoff game. Literally in his career, in like 20 years. These are guys that are like we don't have.
Yeah, we don't have the psychopaths about basketball.
Mm-mm.
And not to, just shit on today's game these days, but I think that maybe that's a little bit of the nostalgia that I'm missing, is that grit, that desperation, that if I don't get it, if I don't get mine, right, and I don't prove that I am better than the other person. I mean, hell, players aren't even guard each other, right? Like best players are.
They don't. Best players don't guard each other like that.
They'll put Patrick Beverly on a 6'6" shooting guard, and
everybody just switch. Whatever.
Yeah, it don't matter. So that individualism is lacking a little bit. We have a bunch of Michael Porter Juniors in the league, which I think, just completely side note, is Zach LaVine gets traded to the Denver Nuggets. First of all, good for the Nuggets. I think that is a hell of a pickup. But second of all, I can't think of a worse pairing of player and culture than Michael Porter Jr. and the Chicago Bulls. A non-defensive chucker that I'm talking about Kwame's boy. I just remembered. I'm talking about Kwame.
Yeah, it's a little disrespectful, but
he just, bro. You know how it is. They want the grit, right, in the city. That's not.
They will hate him as a player. They will hate him.
Bro. Yeah, best of luck to them. Anybody think the Lakers are about to get Zach LaVine?
No.
Ooh.
I'd be excited. That would at least be exciting. I mean, I don't even know what I would expect, but it'd be exciting because Zach LaVine will give you 27. Yeah, 27 up there.
Yes.
I would take him. Not that I necessarily want him. I prefer, probably some more depth-related options, but at this point, 27? I'll take whatever, bro. Right. Like, we just need to do something different.
And all respect to everything and all the accomplishments that the 80 LeBron two-headed monster have contributed to Lakers society over these past years, but I need another 25 guy. Like, if I could just stick to the plan of LeBron, like starting to coast regular season games because Anthony Davis and X player are going to carry them, and that's kind of the expectations while he just sits there like Goku just getting ready. That's what I'm missing. Like, yes, depth is fun, depth is cool. Like, but who's getting 27 out? Like, Austin could, Dalton could, Rui could, but who's actually dangerous that they will if you fuck around and don't guard them?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I know it will probably take depth to get a player. It will probably take future draft capital to get a player. But at least for me in this season, I'm not living technically in the world that the Lakers are depth pieces away from being a championship contender right now. I think they are a impact player away from this looking a lot different.
That's fair. I mean, you probably want to think towards the future too. I mean, a Zach LaVine, AD pairing in the future when LeBron settles it down probably isn't the worst thing that you can do. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely not the worst. So I think that's not a bad idea. And honestly, I think the Bulls will give up Lonzo too for a bag of chips and a few used Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Oh my God! Do you know what the nation would do if they got a notification on their phones that Lonzo Ball's coming back?
Go crazy! I think the Bulls would give him up easily. I think they're waiting to give him up.
Yes,
they want to be done with him.
Yeah, they're done with it.
Yes. Two things. One, the petty side. I still really think that the Bulls organization feels some type of way about LeBron James being very successful, right? No, the fan base feels that way. They like I tell everyone, number one LeBron haters are Chicago aunties. They can't stand him. They hate him. They think he's soft. They think you want to find the number one LeBron hater. They are living in the city of Chicago. I guarantee it.
Somebody's auntie hates him.
It's
that's funny.
So, but I don't put it past the organization. They would rather deal with another team if it's close than help the Lakers. That's just kind of how I feel these days about other organizations and their ownership. Messing with the Lakers. But I would really, really, really love it for the fan base if they got Lonzo. I'm staying off the Twitter that day. I'll be there for the Zach tweets, right? But if it's just Alonzo day, I'm off. I'll take an off day. Yeah. I can do the show.
I think the hard part is I don't know. The Bulls aren't going to take D'Lo. I think they've committed to Giddey and Kobe White as their guards of the future. So again, it's like, where does D'Lo fit? Unless it's a 3-team trade, I don't know how that one gets done. Because like I said, I think the Bulls are I think they're set in their backcourt. I don't think they really have what we need.
D'Lo, though, he's been in the league, 8 years? D'Lo's not anybody's guard of the future anymore.
Yeah. So what is he? Is he your backup point guard? Is he your off
He's
guard?
a locker room guy.
Vibes. What'd you call it, Rick? Locker room lubricator? That's what he's there
locker
for.
Room lubricator is crazy.
That's what Rick said, man, on a couple pods ago. I guess that's what he's there for. Because I agree. I think he's there to be your buddy. He'll go golfing with you on off days, but he not. I don't know. I don't know what team in the NBA wants to take him as their starting guard. I don't think there's one out there anymore. Like you said, Phil, he's been in the league 8+ years, and I think we know who D'Lo is. And in the modern NBA, I don't know where he really fits because he doesn't have any athleticism, and he's too cool for school. Slow dribbles, can't make layups over. I don't know, man. It's something about his game. I think it pisses a lot of people off. Pissed me off at least. I don't know about y'all. Make me mad.
D'Angelo Russell or Andre Miller will have a better career.
D'Angelo Russell wish he was Andre Miller.
For real, he wish he was Andre Miller. Andre Miller had a hell of a career. We're not going to do that.
If we had Andre Miller right now, we'd be a better team.
The slower than faster game.
But
right?
he was cerebral.
Yeah.
He was up here.
And that's what D'Lo thinks he is. He thinks he's cerebral, bro, with these no-look passes like he's still at Louisville.
Space cadet, bro.
Shout him out, though. Shout him out. Hey, shout out Andre Miller. I kind of just wanted to give him the drop on the show. Love to have you on the show, big dog, if you ever see this.
Yeah, that'd be tight.
He's probably a politician or something. Andre Miller seemed like he was a talker. So,
I gotta get out of here, guys.
You out, Jody Joe?
Yeah, I gotta get out, man.
Yep, do your thing, bro. We'll probably be out of here at half anyway.
Yeah, no doubt, man. It's all good, man. I see y'all boys.
Yes, sir.
Take it easy, man.
Yeah.
Imagine we traded for Conley. So I agree, man. You think you'd look back? I would have rather taken Mike Conley. Like,
Phil, where we land on Max Christie? I make my jokes, but honestly, how have you felt about his development this year?
Uneven, but it's hard to find someone on the roster that wouldn't apply to.
Yep,
there. But yeah, he hasn't been what I had hoped he would be. I still believe in his potential, but that's Part of the problem of Max Christie is the problem of the Lakers not really having like a clear commitment long-term plan.
Yes.
It's another world between planning for the future and maximizing the fact that they've got two like all-timers on the team right now. And there's you ever hear the old like fable story of the donkey that's exactly in the middle of two bales of hay?
No.
And can't pick which one to eat and so dies of starvation. That's what the Lakers are right now.
Yeah, I love it.
They can't pick a bale. And so that's just kind of where they're at. They're a middling team until guys age out and they have to rebuild.
Yeah, they can't decide to develop for the future or go all in now. They're just waffling, and that's why we have the product we see.
I think Rob is scared of making another Westbrook trade.
I agree. I think he shook.
What happened to the Trey rumors? Like, that'd be fun. That's fun. Then we even know what the post LeBron era looks like.
Yep.
It's Trey and AD.
I think that's a good pairing too. It's a good pairing for the future.
What's going on? All right. What's the Hawks record? Can I strong arm the Hawks into a trade?
The Hawks are 14-13, 7th in the East.
I can absolutely. It's time to tank this again. Get another number one pick. What is that boy doing? What? Hey, Phil, I'll shoot you a sweatshirt if you could tell me the number one overall pick's name.
This year?
Yes.
Like properly?
I watched a draft this year.
You went to the Hawks, right?
Yeah, Zachary Richeshay.
Yeah. Yeah, see, and I think that's also part of the problem. I think we've run into a lot of recent drafts where top three players are just
foreigners. They're foreigners, and we don't know who they are. But this draft was bad. This was a rough year in college basketball. This year was a little rough.
People want to complain about Ronnie going 55 in a bad draft. What the hell?
I mean, exactly. He knew he couldn't go out next year. Next year, this upcoming draft has some players in it. Bronny knew he couldn't wait, so that's why he went this year. This was a perfect draft for him to go out. Nobody knew who the number one pick was going to be, and then they picked the Frenchman. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody knew.
It's a lot of GMs taking the easy way out, though, too, because it's like we're going to find the next Jokic at number 3, forgetting where Jokic actually went and what he had to go through to get where he is in the league. Yep. Or we're going to get the next Luka, forgetting that Luka was embarrassing everybody in the second best league in the world when he was 16. Like, he was going to be. And, like, there's a lot of... It's one of those things where, like, pollsters in elections, when the election day gets closer, their results tend to get closer together because everybody's scared of being the one that's
wrong.
They're the same way. Like, they're all scared of being the one that fucks up and doesn't catch the wave, so they all just react to that trend, and it's hurting the analysis and actually, like, picking someone who fits what they're trying to do.
Yeah, I agree. Nobody wants to pick a bust, so everybody's scared. Oh, don't pick the bust. All right, who are we gonna grab? So I mean, hey, you take a flyer on a prospect that nobody's heard of anyway. You know, it's high risk or low risk, high reward. If he turns out good, cool. If he's a bust, nobody knew about him anyway. You know, so I agree.
Bring Trey Young to the Lakers. The moral of the story: they need to continue to try to get first overall picks now. They're in Atlanta. Ethan has a question. We'll make this one of our last questions of the evening. The artist formerly known as Jared Vanderbilt, and when we think he will play this season. February sounds good. That's what I'm gonna say. Jared Vanderbilt's gonna play in February.
I think he plays the season too, but it's probably not. Yeah, it's definitely probably around February, March. I'd agree. It's crazy that he was cleared to play the last game of the season last year and then had random double foot surgery and can't play again this season. I don't get that guy. I don't get him.
Yeah, will he play? Yes. Will he play a lot? I doubt it.
I doubt it, man. Yeah,
Minnesota sold us some good. Or was that Utah? He was with Utah then, right? Yeah. Utah sold us some damage goods, man.
We've been fleeced by a lot of teams.
Miami
absolutely giving us nothing but a bag of. You know what? It's been bad. It's been bad for Miami. Utah fleeced us a little bit. It's tough, but yeah, Jared Vanderbilt, man, I don't even care about him anymore. Like at this point, let's just if we can somehow move him too. I don't care what he brings for us. If he comes back and he still can't shoot threes from the corner, I will lose my absolute mind. I just don't know I don't even know what to expect from him because it's been so long since we've seen him on the court. Like,
well,
for real.
If I were you, then I would like put a fence or like an iPhone tracker on your mind, because I guarantee you when he gets back, he is going to be missing corner threes.
And it's just like, hey, if he can somehow crank up the intensity, because I think he did do that. He brought some intensity, he crashed the boards really hard.
He's an attack dog.
Defender. Like he put a lot of forwards we played against in straight jackets. You know, he did his thing when he was there.
If he was just taller, he'd be the perfect player for the team.
I agree. But he's got to get on the court. He's not doing anything for us in street clothes for 2 years. It's not doing anything for us there. So I need him to be available and get on this basketball court. He's going to have any sort of impact. So hopefully he makes it eventually, and hopefully he does become impactful. But otherwise, man, I don't know. I'm kind of over him. I don't care about him until I see him play. I don't want to hear any rumors. I don't want to hear he's been cleared to play. I don't want to hear he's ramping up nothing. I don't want to hear nothing about him until he steps foot on that basketball court and shows me something. So I'm just over it. 2 years, bro.
And I think my perception about what the Lakers need or how far they are from competing for a championship drastically changes if just Jared Vanderbilt was healthy. Because we saw what role he plays, and I feel like he is an A-tier version of that role, especially if he's hitting his corner threes, right? But without, like, you physically cannot count on him being there. That, like, we have data of a year and a half that it's just not probably going to be a reality, right? So him just being off to the side. Hell, I don't expect much from Christian Wood, but him just being a zero, a non-applicable on the test, that's just as demoralizing. And if I can't count on either one of them to be ready to go, we know these regular season games, there's a lot of them, but they matter. Losing to the Sacramento Kings, which the Lakers are up 62-58, December 19th, 2024, may not feel like a big loss now, but when it comes to May or March and April, we're going to be starting to count wins and losses and schedules and be like, damn, you know what game would have been nice to win? That December 19th game in Sacramento that the Lakers were up 62-58 at half, right? We do this every year. So we have to get better now is my main point. And I don't think adding smaller pieces now gets us that incremental jump. We need a big boy. We need him here tomorrow. Then we can start having fun.
But what about Christian Wood?
What about?
I don't think he plays for our basketball team either, man.
I'm sure he's a cool dude. I would love to have a beer with him.
Yeah. Again, I don't know. Yeah, we need something different, man. Like I said, I will entertain any trade that Rob can somehow pull off because he's been radio silent for who knows how long. He sat on his hands all summer, sat on his hands during the trade season. So you know what? If he does anything, I'll take it. This team just needs something different. It's clear that the product that we are putting out there right now is simply just not getting it done. So I will welcome almost any trade, and let's see where it goes, to be honest. So wake me up when the Shams post.
Yeah, the Shams bomb.
And part of the problem with that is that like they can't decide which priority to address now because LeBron is no longer a two-way player, even if. So it's not just you need a big guy to help Anthony Davis be the best Anthony Davis, but you also need someone, if LeBron is playing, to be the guy he is still on the offensive end. You need somebody else who can handle that perimeter defense. And both of those things are really at a premium.
Yeah. You know, unfortunately, no matter how you want to dice it, people are mad about it every game. LeBron is not going to play balls to the walls defense in the regular season. No shot. Like, you can't even expect that. No way.
Alone. He's 40 years old in the next associate. Like he's not gonna be able to do that, and that's fine. But you have to account for that.
Yeah, I agree. So I think Rob kind of oversat on his hands, and now he by wasting the last 2 seasons essentially, we now have another problem where again LeBron is essentially just a 1.5 way player. Like I said, he can turn it on in spurts, but he's not going to play that way all day for an 82 game stretch of a regular season or whatever it may be. He'll give you in the playoffs as frequently as he can. I think this team, as constructed, is probably built more for playoff games. But the grind of the regular season, you got to get there first. I'm tired of scrapping in the play-in, man. I'm tired of it. I just want to get in and be okay, not have to worry about, a nail biter. We got to win 1 or 2. I'm over it, man. I just want to get in. I want to enjoy it. I want to have fun, and I'll let the results be what they are. But something's got to happen, and it needs to happen sooner rather than later. Because I think the trade deadline's too late, to be honest. It's hard to, depending on where you're sitting in the standings, building that chemistry. Like I said, we had an anomaly. 2 seasons prior, we had kind of an anomaly where the team really just started taking off, made the Western Conference Finals. Like that was great, but again, that's an outlier, man. I don't think you can rely on that. So Rob, make the trade early, and let's go, man. Let's make the trade early.
This has been a very entertaining halftime show. I don't know if y'all have been able to peep this with.
I've never seen this one.
These Tron lights dudes with hula hoops and cubes, but yeah, sounds like I need to get my mind right here after the show goes off. So let's wrap it up, fellas. I think this is always fun. Phil, thank you for sliding through, man.
That was great.
This is more than welcome, bro. So we'll try to do this more often. I think our conversations on Playback end up just naturally flowing. I don't know why, maybe because there's background and we're watching a game and topics can kind of just move in and out. But hopefully we are gonna remix this, put it on the podcast for you guys to enjoy. But come rock with us on Playback. We'll start promoting and doing a little scheduling so you guys have a little bit more heads up. But hopefully you enjoyed this as much as we did with this conversation. So Big Phil, appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Phil.
Take it easy, guys.
Yes, sir. All right, Kwame, let's get out of here, man. Hey, I got an interview tomorrow. How about that?
Good luck to you, man.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah.
Give me the details offline, but it's time. So, all right, y'all. Appreciate y'all rocking with us on Late Night Lake Show. For Kwame and Phil and Jody Joe, it's Ricky. Talk to y'all later. Peace.